This episode is sponsored by Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Featured entertainment includes Randy Houser on May 31st and Keb Mo on June 1st. Details and tickets at HollywoodCasinoCharlestown.com. Must be 21 to enter the casino floor and attend a show. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Actor Gary Sinise returns to co-host the National Memorial Day concert on the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol this Sunday night on PBS. He joined me to preview this year's star-studded lineup, as well as reflect on the 30th anniversary of his Oscar-nominated role as Lieutenant Dan in the 1994 blockbuster Best Picture Forrest Gump. Hey, Gary Sinise. Hey, thanks for joining us again on WTOP in DC again this year.
Happy to be with you.
I feel like it's annual tradition now. Every time Memorial Day rolls around, it's either you or Joe Mantegna hopping on the phone with us. I love it. We should tell everyone it's the National Memorial Day concert this Sunday on PBS. It'll be live there on the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol. What year is this for you now?
Well, I started in 2005.
Okay.
Joe started in 2002, and then I think it was Joe who called me and asked me if I'd be interested in coming to do a segment on the 2005 show and bring my band to play. They were going to highlight the USO and do a segment on the USO, and I was doing a lot of USO shows, and so they asked me to come and be a part of the USO segment, and then they asked me to not only play, but narrate a few of the other segments. So I did that, and then they asked me to come back the following year and co-host, and I've been doing that since 2006 now.
Awesome. And then this is kind of an obvious question, but I gotta ask, why do you keep coming back? I mean, this is where you can just really dote on the importance of a day that it is a somber occasion, but also one filled with pride and patriotism,
Yes, and it's a beautiful way to remember. That's what the Memorial Day is about. It's a remembrance. And we remember our fallen. We remember the sacrifices that have been made to keep us free. We remember those that are buried in military cemeteries all across the country and around the world. We remember the families who have lost those loved ones, and we honor them. It's our national tribute to those who defend us.
Absolutely, and we're really grateful that you do it year in, year out. Remind us who's on the lineup with you this year. I mean, I have the list; I could read them, but I don't know. Give you a chance to maybe dote on your co-headliners here, if you can think them off the top of your head.
Bryan Cranston is doing the show this year. He's going to do our World War II segment this year. Got a great story to tell. We've got Jenna Malone is going to be doing the show this year. B.D. Wong. We've got Gary LaVox. He's going to be singing.
Oh, Rascal Flatts,
from
baby.
Rascal Flatts.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember Gary? Yeah.
Of course.
Jamie Johnson. He's going to be doing the show. Mary McCormick is back again. And Mary has been coming now for the past several years. I think it's become something very special for her to do each year. Of course, my co-host, Joe Mantegna. Cynthia Ervivo, and she's amazing. What a powerhouse performer. Jack Everly will be doing, conducting the National Symphony Orchestra, and they're fantastic. So, I mean, I can't name them all. I think I covered almost everybody, but it's just a special show each year with great performers. I know at the end of the show each year, we all look at each other and we think, I think that's the best show we've ever done. and it always feels like that because the show is always very powerful. The producers and the writers really put together a great show each year.
Yep, it'll be the best show you've ever done until next year, and you'll say it again. Yeah, no,
And there you go.
that lineup is incredible. And you mentioned Jamie Johnson. I don't know if our listeners country listeners know I love his song "In Color," and I'm telling you, folks, you're gonna get goosebumps hearing Jamie Johnson. It's a Memorial Day show, but hearing him singing about these black and white pictures of his buddies fighting in the war, if it looked like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids trying to save each other, you should have seen it in color. It's going to hit extra hard with Memorial Day. It's awesome.
Great song.
Oh, so you're well aware of the song. I didn't know if I was just, doting on it as a country fan.
No,
but
I know the song. It's a great song.
Absolutely.
I hope he's doing that one.
Is he doing that one?
I'm not sure what he's doing, but I hope he's doing that one.
He better. I mean, come on. What better occasion? Well, anyway, you got to tune in on PBS or come out live to see it, folks, and see what they all sing. That's a lineup. Cranston, man, that's incredible. Well, hey, it's hard to believe, but it's the 30th anniversary of Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dan. That's hard to believe, but yeah, talk about why that characters, you think it resonated so much to me, and sort of like the evolution between you call this a storm, just defying God during the storm, and suddenly, thank you, I never thank you for saving my life. Like swimming away in the sunset, making his peace with God. But yeah, talk about that evolution.
It's a great story, story of Lieutenant Dan. I won't have my band at the concert this year, but actually we are going a few days before the concert. We have at the Gary Sinise Foundation, we do events at our military hospitals that we call Invincible Spirit Festivals, and my band plays. So we're going to do one at Fort Belvoir in Virginia on the 23rd, and then I'll do all the Memorial Day concert stuff the rest of the weekend. So we'll be doing one of our Invincible Spirit Festivals. And Lieutenant Dan, the story of Lieutenant Dan resonates with so many of our veterans, of course, with our wounded veterans, because it's a very positive story. He wrestles with his demons and he overcomes. And he's standing up again at the end of the movie. And that's the story we want for everybody who's facing a challenge because of military service. We want them to be okay and moving on with their lives. And that's, I think, the power of the Lieutenant Dan story, is that you look at him and it's a happy ending. And, prior to Forrest Gump, we really hadn't seen a Vietnam veteran focused film that really highlights how a Vietnam veteran could come back from war and be okay in the end. Go into business, be successful, wealthy, moving on, married, everything's put together, standing up again. We really hadn't seen that until Forrest Gump. And I think that's the story so many of our wounded, especially, that's the story they want. They want to be able to move forward with their lives. And so being connected to that character all these years, that's been a very special thing for me.
Such a great point. Yeah, because before that it was Apocalypse Now and The Deer Hunter and Platoon, all great movies, obviously, but Forrest Gump was that first time, we could see the veteran sort of in a positive light and moving on with his life. It wasn't just the lamenting of the tragedy. It was seeing her recovery.
That's right.
It was great. It was great. I know we don't have all that much time, but I was curious with Zemeckis, like, how was that technical wizardry done? Didn't you wear like some sort of like green screen sock kind of a thing, and then they would like have you swing them across these things, like, and then they would paint in like a digital table on the ground or the side of the ship where there was like a little hole, like they would kind of add that in after. But I love the detail where you were like, how did they do that?
Yeah. It was all magic tricks done in the computer, except for when I was actually sitting in the wheelchair. Mm-hmm. That we actually had a kind of a specially designed wheelchair that had a little bit of a sunken area where I could bend my legs and kind of sit in the wheelchair with my legs bent under me. Mm. But the other times when, I'm falling out of the wheelchair, or I get lifted up out of the hospital bed, or, kind of jump off the boat and swim out. That was all done with the computer. The it wasn't green screen, but I had blue screen socks that were made. It was the blue screen material.
Yeah.
And they were wrapped around my legs below the knee. And then after, we would shoot that. And then in post-production, they would go in and they would remove all that blue color. Mm-hmm. And that blue color, the only thing blue in the shot was my legs. So they could just lift that out. And then they would have to paint in everything that they had removed. Mm-hmm. If you move, like if my legs are sitting on the floor and you remove them, then there's just a big blank white nothing there. And so they would have to paint in the floor and put in shadows and things like that. And it was really a neat technology that they did. It was kind of the beginning of a lot of the computer graphics.
Yeah, well, it wasn't all special effects. It was a beautiful performance by you, sir. I mean, you brought the life to it and made us believe it. So it was amazing. Congratulations on an Oscar nomination, I think. For that. Well, hey, I know final seconds, but in that magic leg scene when you finally walk up, and you point to the titanium alloy, you say the same stuff they use on the space shuttle. Did you and Tom Hanks know you were about to shoot Apollo 13? Was that like a little wink to us?
No. I did not know. He may have known that he was going to go off and do that movie next, but I didn't until a while later when all of a sudden I had the opportunity to audition for it.
Awesome. Well, it was great. One of many. Well, we'd be here all day, but Green Mile and Of Mice and Men, CSI New York. You've done so many, but folks, next chance to see Gary Sinise is going to be at the National Memorial Day concert this Sunday on PBS. They're on the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol. Thank you so much for doing it every year for all the troops and all the, the family of the fallen and everything. You're a national treasure, sir.
I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you next year.
You got it. Take care. Have a good one.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.